And it always is that when you do something wrong, you're compromised. God doesn't curse you, but sometimes the fruit of what you take, which is wrong, even though it comes to you, is going to be a curse to you, not a blessing. All right? Now, God didn't curse Abraham at all. But I want to tell you, the division came between the herdsmen because there wasn't room for them. So the contention was so sharp, they divided. You'll find later on when Esau and Jacob, there was argument and fight and fear. It was always over things, always over money. And there was that within them that always caused conflict. And there'd never have been that if they'd stayed in the land of Canaan, if they'd stayed where God had sent them, if they'd done what God had told them to do, they wouldn't have compromised their life and risked their life and risked everything. Because Sarah was to be the one who was to birth the lineage for Christ. And God had a purpose in it. And it was promised. God promised Abraham that he would have a seed in the earth. And God's promises for Abraham were clear. Every family in the earth would be blessed. Why on earth risk it all? Just so you could go to a place where it seemed there was an abundance of opportunity, abundance of food, abundance of things. Sheer folly. My advice to anyone is always stay where God put you. You know? Now, obviously, you don't stay in death, you stay in life. Find where life is. That's the main thing. Seek you first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. Obviously, if you're in a place that's death, don't stay in death. You go where life is. But Abraham was told to leave where he was and go where God would show him. God showed him where it was. He said, this is your land. And the first thing he does is leave it. The trouble was, Abraham's compromise tried to bring others than the family into the family. He tried to be part of what he wasn't part of. I can only be part of the people of God because God birthed me from above. I can't be part of the world. And Sarah couldn't be part of Pharaoh's house. You can't mix Christ and Belial. You just can't. It's a principle. But they tried. And fear came on it. As soon as you start going your own way, it always brings fear. In the end, it'll bring destruction too. But no one ever listens. They always think they know better. And what do? In the end, they've got to run the course. But that's stupidity, because the consequences of the course you run, you'll reap for the rest of your life. Better not to run them. Because we should always put Christ first. Let him have the preeminence. Pharaoh asks, verse 19, why saidst thou, she is my sister, so I might have taken her to me to wife? Now therefore, behold thy wife, take her, and go your way. You don't belong here. This isn't where God sent you. This isn't where you should be. Go. Now God didn't plague Abraham. He plagued Pharaoh. If you want to kill people, and you want to cause them disaster, you go and compromise with them. You'll hurt them. All Pharaoh's house was plagued from the day Sarah got in there. Now you notice, God didn't plague Sarah. God didn't plague Abraham. He plagued the people they went to. Do you want to bring disaster on other people, which is none of their fault? Your compromise will do exactly that. You'll hurt a lot of people. God's not going to hurt you. He loves you. You're his child. If he wants to turn things round, he'll make people so plagued they'll want to get rid of you. Jonah got on the boat. The storm came. Jonah was okay. In the end, Jonah got swallowed by a big fish. You remember? He said, it's my fault. All this is coming on you. You'll hurt a lot of people.